Hello, everyone. Welcome to Harmonic Heart. We're a music blog dedicated to showcasing musicians' stories and talent. I'm your host, Chris Millette. I am grateful and honored to have Colombian-American band DeSanguashington on today for an interview. So, DeSanguashington is a Colombian-American band from Washington, D.C. that combines traditional Colombian folk music with rock, pop, and urban rhythms. Founded in 2014, Daysung Washington has emerged as one of the premier world music bands in the Washington, D.C. area, recognized and beloved by the Latinx community and those who enjoy international music. Daysung Washington has gone from performing in living rooms to performing in some of the best venues and festivals in Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia area, including the Howard Theater, Kennedy Center Millennium Stage, H Street Festival, Atlas Performing Arts Center, and Embassy of Colombia. This year in 2020, they released their debut EP, Viajero. So I'm excited and honored, grateful. We have three members of Daysung Washington here today. Please introduce yourselves, your role in the band, and the members who aren't here today.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Velu, and I am the main vocalist of DeSanguashington, and we also with the two other members here, we are in charge of making things happen in terms of creativity.
Oh, wonderful.
Hi
Yes, thank,
everyone, I'm Danny. I play the accordion and thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
thank you, Chris, for the invitation. I'm Diego, and I play percussion. Yes, for me, it's a pleasure to share this story about the San Washington.
Sweet. Alrighty. Okay. Well, I think a nice place for us to start would be some of the genres you perform. So, can you tell us a bit about the traditional Colombian folk genres you perform? I know you've mentioned Vallenato and Cumbia and the history of those genres.
Yeah, well, Vallenato and Cumbia are primarily from the Caribbean coast of Colombia. Cumbia sort of originated around the 1800s, and it's a genre that was basically it traveled with the African people that were brought to Latin America due to slavery, and it includes a lot of drums that have this African feeling, but of course, it became a Colombian rhythm. So it's sort of like a diaspora. It's a combination of the European roots, which is the Spanish language, and also the African and indigenous instruments that sometimes you hear, especially talking about the gaita, which is a flute, it's an indigenous flute that you hear in some of the types of cumbia that you hear in Colombia. And then we also have the tambores, the drums. They're specifically to cumbia. And that cumbia has traveled throughout Latin America and has traveled through across Europe, so and back to Africa, and it has become an emblematic symbol of our nation, and it has been adopted by several other countries, especially in Latin America, that also play their own cumbia. So you're gonna hear cumbia from Argentina, you're gonna hear cumbia from Peru, cumbia from Ecuador, from Mexico, and they all add their own flavors. And in terms of vallenato, vallenato is also Caribbean, and it sort of started around the 1900s, and the original instruments of vallenato include caja vallenata, which is also a drum, and it's the main percussion of vallenato. And before the accordion actually came into play, gaita was also part of the music, and the güiro, so the guacharaca. And but then the accordion right now is the main instrumentation, and why when you hear vallenato, when you hear the accordion, it's vallenato. Because of the sounds of the accordion, and like the different kinds of rhythms that Danny can talk to you a little bit more, since he is the accordionist of our band.
Yeah,
Okay.
what Belu was saying is right. The accordion has something very interesting that when you hear it in person, it gives you like a vibe that you don't forget. So it's very emotional instrument. So people like a lot the accordion, and people adapted to play the vallenato. And since then, it's become a tradition to play vallenato always with accordion. So people say that if there is no accordion in the song, there is no vallenato. So you have to have the accordion in order to make a vallenato.
I see. Okay, so Danny holding us down with accordion for the vallenato.
Yeah.
So I understand, well, you all have original songs and you perform these traditional songs as well. I was curious, are folk songs passed down as a type of canon that many Colombian musicians know? How does that work?
I mean, I don't know about the. I think Diego and Danny can talk to their experience. Like growing up, we are all immigrants. But when I was growing up in Colombia, like vallenato and cumbia, it's sort of like in the air, but it's not something that I listen to like on the radio. Like like you listen to rock and you listen to pop and you listen to English music. But again, it's sort of in the air, and you're familiar with it. That you know the songs, and because that's what your parents dance to, especially in like Christmas, Christmas parties and like New Year's Eve. For me, I got more connected with the music when I moved here, and it wasn't necessarily that I was not into it. It was just not. No, it was not part of my daily life. However, I did live in the coast, in the Caribbean coast, in Santa Marta specifically for 2 years during college. And it's funny because we joke around with our university mates where like we moved to the coast, and then like all we listen is to vallenato, and it's like vallenato here and vallenato there. But then like 6 months into living in the Caribbean coast, then you listen to a vallenato and you're like, yeah, party, let's go. So like it grew on me. It grew on me, and when you listen to the lyrics and you listen to the songs, they're very poetic, and they're a declaration of love and happiness. So, but I don't know. I mean, I think Danny and Diego might have a different perspective and experience.
Yes, I believe in the all of the members of the group has like different backgrounds. Danny is more for the side of vallenato and pop. There is some guys on the guitar that is more related with rock. Belu as well with pop and rock, and that combination generates like the original sound that the San Washington. That basically is a mix of the traditional with the new waves of sounds and the combination, the smooth combination between those rhythms.
That's interesting.
I was gonna comment something on what Belu was saying, and I think that in Colombia, everybody listened vallenato, or at least have heard one vallenato and know what it is. So it's part like of the Colombian DNA person. So it doesn't matter if you like rock, if you like reggaeton, if you like any other rhythm. In general, your roots are connected with the vallenato. So in some way, at least you know one vallenato.
Mm,
So it's a very popular rhythm in Colombia.
Yeah.
I see. You mentioned that you all are immigrants and you're based in DC now. How did Washington form?
DeSanguashington formed around 2014, I believe, and it was through the World Cup. Just like a bunch of Colombian uh, guys got together and started playing instruments. And
Actually, Diego
it,
knows this story because Diego was
yeah,
the
Diego
first
knows
one.
the
Diego is the
story
oldest one
better.
of us.
Yes, it's related with soccer. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but it was related with soccer. It was a group of guys with instruments. We start to say, oh, do you want to play maybe in a park or any place just to have fun? And after that, it was three guys at the beginning. And after 6 months, Danny joined, Belu joined to the band, and the band start to grow up. We start to thinking about, okay, let's take this more seriously. We make some changes. We changed the name as well, and yes, and after that is a journey that definitely helped us to like recreate the band of the days that is now.
We were playing gaita before, and we had a name that we decided to change because it was too long. But our name before was Gaiteros, like gaita de San Washington. So San Washington we tried to make it similar to a small town in Colombia called San Jacinto, where they played folk, cumbia, and gaita music. So, but that was too long, that name, so we decided to change it, and now we're just this in Washington.
And the San Washington is still, it's still kind of funny in, like, and like catchy in a way, because the San Washington is still like connected to Washington D.C. Although we don't write it with W, we write it as it would sound in Spanish, which is like with the GU. And so like it really states the San Washington, it translates really to from Saint Washington. So yeah, and a lot of towns and cities in Latin America, you hear that San Carlos or San Pablo. So it was sort of like a note to that.
I'm glad to learn that. Yeah, I was curious where the name came from and if it was connected to Colombia. And then also, of course, there's a similarity to Washington, D.C., so that's really interesting. Um, yeah, what does, hmm, yeah, what would you say the genres and the music you perform means to you?
Um, well, like I guess it means heritage. To me, it means heritage. To me, it means also a bridge to connect cultures, and an opportunity to show something that is beautiful from our country. So that to me means the San Washington, and it means folk, um, and yeah, just an opportunity to unify, to get people together, and just like without worrying about barriers or frontiers, or like corners of the world, or that I'm from this region or that you're from this region. We ultimately, even if you don't understand the language, we try to like invite people to dance and to enjoy the music, because it's so happy and it brings so much joy, especially the accordion, like Danny said. Like without vallenato, without accordion, I mean, there is no vallenato.
Yeah, can you speak a little bit more to, the importance of dance with the music that you play?
Guys?
The music that we play is very happy music. So it has a lot of rhythm, and as Belu said, it has a lot of drums involved in it. So it's very happy music. So when you hear it, even though maybe you don't understand the Spanish lyrics, but you get the rhythm immediately, and the rhythm gets you, and you start dancing, you want to move, and you enjoy it. So basically, it's very happy music, and as long as you enjoy it, it doesn't matter if you understand or not the lyric, you're good to go.
Yes, it's like kind of liberation, especially when we play for a different audience and no audience that does not speak Spanish. It's like a liberation. You just heard the readings automatically. It's like you follow the patterns of the music, and immediately you start to have fun. And also for the people from Colombia that we usually play, they feel like it's part of something. They remind like, oh, that I heard that song when I was a child, and that's remind me traveling, that's remind me the coffee smell, and all of the memories came back to you in the moment that we play. And it's like I say, it's like part of the experience that we play as well.
That's beautiful. It takes you back to a younger time. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
curious. Oh, yes, go ahead.
No, no, I agree with Diego.
Yeah, I was curious the work that was involved going from playing in living rooms to performing in the Kennedy Center and Howard Theater and other notable venues. What was the work that was involved with that?
I think Diego mentioned it before in the way that like we sort of realize, okay, there seems to be a good opportunity here that we can take advantage of. People really like what we're doing, so why don't we just like, why don't we not like share it with more people? So in order to do that, we really needed to sit down and we had to sit down and be more organized and be more mindful of our rehearsals and more constant meeting. I think it was weekly when we first started. Right now now we moved to bi-weekly because we're used to our language. We can understand what like Danny is about to do, or the percussion, or we can talk to each other while we're playing, and so we understand. And it really was organically. More people started listening. People started reaching out to us. We were able to perform at Bossa. Then from Bossa Bistro Lounge, we started playing, opening to some artists. We got an opportunity to perform at the International Colombian Festival with some very well-known artists such as Totola Momposina. And we also opened for Messier Periné, who are pretty big in Colombia and also internationally. And we opened for Terciopelados at the Howard Theater, which are a rock band that is also emblematic to Colombians. And yeah, I don't know if Danny and Diego have anything to add.
Yeah, you said everything. It has been very organically and interesting journey.
Wow. You mentioned that you guys kind of have a language and you understand each other, and it seems like you guys have a culture in your band. I was curious, the band's process of composing songs.
Well, the way that we compose the song is that Belu and Richard, which is the guitarist, and we get together and start like brainstorming ideas about melodies, like, hey guys, I have this melody or I have this lyric, so how we can make it like a song with a structure and a chorus, a break. So once we do that, then we show that word to the other parts of the band, which is the percussionist, and then they give us more ideas in order to, for example, like create a break here or create a silence here, and yeah, this is how we do it, and this is how have been doing it. And now since COVID-19, that we are locked down, so we're trying just to create more and more music in our own, and then eventually we're trying to get together and make more music.
I see. So generally starting with melody, accordion, guitar, lyrics.
Yes.
And then bringing it to the percussion. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, this next part can be brief. Each song on Volver has a beautiful sentiment to it. I'd like to touch on each one and share the concept of the song and what each song means to you. So can you tell us about La Mochila?
Yeah. Go ahead, Danny.
La Mochila, it's a richer song, but I really like that song because it talks about experience and in life, in what you loved, and the mochila is basically where you put everything that you love and like. And mochila is a bag. It's a Colombian bag. Let me show you. I have a mochila here. One
Yeah,
second.
that'd be great.
Yeah. Good job,
So
Danny.
this is a mochila.
Mochila. Wow.
So it's a bag. It's a Colombian handmade bag.
Wow.
And is made by Colombian indigenous in the north part of Colombia. So basically, a mochila is a bag where you put things, right? But the song talks about when you put in the mochila your experience and everything, and it never break because it's very, I don't know, it can hold everything, all your experience. So it's a very nice song.
Yeah, I loved the lyrics about this kiss in the middle of the night, this hug in the middle of the day. That was really sweet, like the laughing in the car, the music in the morning.
It's very poetic.
Right, that was, yeah. Okay, and what about Volver?
Volver, it's a the journey of immigrants. It's a node to going back to your roots. It also talks about, like the journey of an immigrant when he, she, or they leave the country, and how despite that they, like missing their home, they are trying to make a new life in, like where they live. So yeah, I think you can identify with it regardless of whether you're Colombian or whether you are Ethiopian or you are, I don't know, like Argentinian or Mexican or whatever. So it really is just your journey as an immigrant.
Yeah, one thing I thought was interesting about that song, as I think Danny mentioned before, that the music is really upbeat, but there's also sad elements. Just really missing where you're from and your home as well.
Yes.
That can really resonate with the song. And Mi Poesía, Mi Caramelo.
That's a really good song because it's, as you mentioned before, La Mochila is more like vibe dancing, the previous song like melancholic style with the Viajero, and this is more for love. It's like a combination of feelings. You have combination of feelings that basically this is an immigrant journey. You have a combination of feelings every day, every season, and this is love. And this is one of the songs that Bell wrote, and I mean it's fantastic. You can dedicate this song, and you can feel like the real feeling behind those lyrics. And as you said before, you can feel it when you dancing, and basically the song yes, it's part of the journey for the San Washington trip.
And you all performed that song for your Tiny Desk submission as well.
Yes, we did. That was the last time we got together before COVID.
Oh wow. I enjoy it. The song Yo
Viajo Sola.
So yeah.
Yo Viajo Sola, was written by Richard, our guitarist also, and he got inspired by the unfortunate situations that happen to women traveling alone when they get assaulted. Sometimes they even lose their lives, and usually the media and society blames them for what happens. So there was a hashtag that was associated with something that happened, unfortunately, to two Argentinian girls in, I believe it was Ecuador, where they were killed, and there was a hashtag that grew up from that, Yo Viajo Sola, and so he got inspired by the hashtag and the experience, and it's sort of like a note to support, like the rights of women across the world, and the right for them to travel regardless of their gender, and that shouldn't really be I guess an excuse for people to take advantage of that. So yeah. And it really is, I mean, despite the sadness of the, like the inspiration, it really is an upbeat song, and it talks about how, like I travel alone, but I don't really travel alone because I travel with the ocean and the stars, and with my experiences and my dreams. So.
Yeah, and that speaks to more about just the various emotions that you're hitting on in this project, and you're also speaking out, and it's powerful. The last song, Poquito a Poco.
Danny, your turn.
Well, I wrote that song. It basically talks about love, and well, it's interesting because now in COVID, people is using more virtual stuff, right? The same as dating apps. So this song talk about dating apps and how people get together between dating apps, and is the story about how I can make you fall in love with me. What should I do? I can iron your clothes, I can walk the dog, I can do anything that you want basically to stay with you. It's a short lyric, but it's just a love feeling that I had in that moment when I created that song.
I love that part, by the way. The whole like I will take the dog at night. That's my favorite part.
I'm really interested to hear what it was like recording the songs.
Recording was very interesting because one thing is playing in the stage, right? Because you can get maybe a little bit faster, a little bit slower, and you don't realize it, and people don't realize it, and it's just part of the connection of the show, and it goes well. But when you're recording, you have to be very precise, and you have to, because every mistake is gonna stay in the record, and it's gonna get recorded. So you have to practice a lot. So we had to practice a lot each song, every song, until we get bored of each song. But that's the process. I mean, it was hard to practice all the time, but also it was very nice because it was an opportunity to grow as a band and play better and get to know also each other, because in sometimes we when we were practicing we were like, man, but we already did that. No, but we have to do it again. So but it's part of the process. But it was interesting, it was nice. So now we can say that we have this EP, and we are very proud of it, and we're still looking to create more music.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, dealing with these people you've known for years, but it's different when things are frustrating and it's outside of the individual specifically, but you're all working on this project together. Wow. Um, was there anything that you learned during recording that surprised you?
Oh yes, I want to say something about it. I think is more appreciation with the musicians, because you think it's just like when you see the videos. Oh, maybe you spend 1 or 2 hours having fun in the studio and that's it. And it's complete the opposite side. And yes, I believe we have to respect the people that is behind, the people who I mean the producers and everything, that they dedicate time to analyze where is the mistake and fix it, and also the musicians that repeat, and this is tiring. At the end, it's like, wow, we did it, but the process takes time, and yes, it's kind of hard, but yes, it's as everything, just a process.
It's really interesting because, yeah, you spent years performing together, and it sounds like this experience recording the project helped you come closer together.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think regardless of the frustrations and like the exhaustion, which was a lot, and I mean, it took us pretty much a year and a half to record. But regardless of that, I think the fact that we've been together for so long that we sort of know each other, and and we talk to each other, and it's it's good. It's good communication. So like there aren't really any like big problems at the end. It's just like disagreements and like where something might sound better, and then ultimately we just we agree, and we move on.
Yeah, well, the music is really positive, so I think, yeah, there's no negative energy that comes across in the music.
Sure.
So,
That's the purpose.
so did you record it at American University?
Yes.
So you recorded at American, and you worked with some producers. What was that like?
The producer is Rafael Pondé. He is a Brazilian, and he is he has, I mean, we found him, Velu found him, and Velu introduced him to us, and he has very interesting way of producing, which is, I mean, we could connect it with that, and we like how we make the music and the sound, because he wanted to keep our original sound, and we wanted to have that in the EP. So that's why we did it that way, and it was very interesting to work with him. I mean, we record at American University, and then we also have to record another parts in his house, a small studio, like create another small steps, but it's very very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, the recording part with Rafael in American University was great. We had also a lot of the technical support from Rogero Naresi and some of the students that are learning about that part. So that was also a good experience for them. And then like Danny said, like some of the things that we didn't finish recording or didn't really needed to be recording in American, we just recorded at Rafael's home studio.
I see. So those other people on the technical side like helped with the engineering and actual recording of it.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. And yeah, who mixed and mastered it? I don't know if that's kind of a specific question, but yeah.
I think that was actually a friend of Rafael, a contact that he had in Brazil. So we didn't really have to worry about that. So he took care of both the mixing and the mastering.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was curious about the influence of the producer because it sounds. I mean, I'm just getting to know your band, but it sounds authentic to who you are. The EP and the overall quality of it sounds great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and we like we're still exploring. I mean, like we are discussing like what sort of things we can improve and like for every EP we wanted to continue our evolution and see where that takes us.
And now you have recorded or you've put out videos for each song. I think 4 songs so far, right?
Yes.
Yes.
On the promotional side. Okay.
That's
Also,
correct.
we're trying to record another video of the like a mix of all the songs in like a resume of the EP in just one song, and
Oh,
so we're working on that, and we're gonna record a video as well.
okay. That's exciting. How can our audience support you?
Belu?
Uh, I always say like follow us and participate. We try to engage, we try to connect with the audience and participate. Right now we are executing new songs, writing, try to contact new people, especially for help us to create new music. And I believe soon we need some support for the audience to I mean the in different size we need support, and yes, I think Belu can talk more about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think for mainly right now, the way that they can support us is go and give us a follow and a subscription on Spotify and YouTube. That's what we need right now. Like, because in terms of the algorithm, the more people like us and the more people listen to us, the more people the algorithm is gonna show it to. So that's the main goal. Our main goal is that so that more people listen to our music and listen to our voice. But yeah, like Diego said, also we are right now we are trying to connect with people and like be more creative and looking for new ways to record music and planning for COVID and foreseeing what's gonna happen in the next, I don't know, next year, how everything is gonna look like. And we're trying, like as Danny said, we're trying to record. So actually, tomorrow we're gonna try to meet outside in a very socially distanced video recording. So I'm very curious as to what is that gonna look like. So yeah.
Wonderful. Any closing thoughts that you guys wanted to get off?
Well, I want to thank you, Chris, for the opportunity. This has been great. We love talking with our friends and also our local connections in Washington D.C. So we really appreciate this, and we should share. We should be able to share your podcast with our fans and our family, our friends, so they know of the great job that you are doing for the community, for the local community, the Washington D.C. community of musicians.
Oh yeah, well, I would really appreciate that, and yeah, and I'm grateful that you guys joined, and I was able to learn more about your band and your music and your whole process and history. So yeah, everyone, please go follow them on Instagram, DeSanguashington, Spotify, all the streaming, DeSanguashington, YouTube, DeSanguashington. All right. Thanks again. Take care,
you, Chris,
everybody.
Thank you,
for the
Chris.
invitation.
Thank you so
Bye. Take
much.
care.